So Ramona Pascual versus Seo-Woo at Road FC 45. I think I had mentioned on the preview video for the event that these two were both contestants on a Korean reality show in conjunction with Road FC. The Korean name for the show is Kapopnoon Yosakdol. In English, that's Fearless Guys. They were the only two lady fighters on the card. No, they never faced off on the show. It was basically being built up towards this fight. Seo-Woo, this is her pro debut. Ramona Pascual, she came in 2-2. This is actually her first fight at bantamweight, and you could definitely see the size difference. First, when they weighed off, Jin actually made weight fully dressed, whereas Ramona had to, get down to what they had to get down to make weight. So there's different size difference, reach advantage. I think they said 5 centimeters to Ramona. So the first round starts off. They're striking at range. Ramona's trying to keep the distance. Seo-Woo kind of rushes in, throws a few strikes. She's obviously not afraid of Pascual striking. And then the clinch gets initiated, and basically the rest of this fight is a tale of the clinch. Whether it was initiated by Seo-Woo or Ramona initiated it. Sometimes Ramona would go for a takedown and from like way too far out, and Jin would just block it and go to the clinch. Almost every time Seo-Woo Jin got the underhook successfully and would push Ramona Pascual up against the cage, and that's a lot of the first round. And the funny thing is, and the experience factor showed in the first round, in that even though Jin was usually getting the better of the underhook battle in the clinch, she would throw some weak knees to the thighs of Pascual, whereas Ramona would keep enough distance. Even though her back was to the cage, Jin didn't get the hips in close enough, so Ramona had the space going that she was able to get enough distance. She landed a lot of knees to the body. Not the most effective knees, but they definitely counted. By the end of the first, a lot of referee breakups, but they would always end up back to in a clinch against the cage up until I think the last 10 seconds they threw some more strikes. That was basically first round. First round, close to call. Based on the distance striking, I would give it to Seo-Woo Jin. But if you're counting the clinch, Jin had the control, but I would give it to Pascual. Keep in mind that in Road FC, it's a whole fight scoring system, so I would have Pascual ahead at the end of the first round. Second round, Pascual definitely got the better of the clinch. She got into the more proper Muay Thai clinch a lot, and was landing a lot of heavy knees. They weren't always stopping Jin. She would still try to force the fight to the cage, but definitely Pascual basically mostly dominated the second round. Every time she could, she would get a good Muay Thai clinch going. Whether it was the full Thai plum or more almost like a wrestling clinch, she was able to keep the distance, land just a lot of good knees. And so the end of the fight, it ended up being a unanimous decision for Ramona Pascual. Good on her. She had a tough time with that reality show. She lived away from home. She actually slept on the floor of the gym, that was where she trained with. So, and you could tell that the stress had definitely gotten to her, because when they announced her as a winner, she just broke down to her knees crying. Seo-Woo Jin, in true Korean tradition, especially Korean ladies tradition, enters the sport as a pro with a loss. But I think she'll be back. I think things to work on for both fighters. Seo-Woo Jin, if you're going to clinch, learn to control the inside space. Work on striking in the clinch. Know when to break the clinch and break with a strike. From Ramona Pascual, if you're going to go for takedowns, she went for like maybe 1 or 2, but they were so far out. Don't telegraph them so much. Work on getting the underhooks in the clinch. Even if you're not the one initiating, you got to go for the underhooks. That's how you can control. That's mostly how Jin was able to control that she was on the outside in most of the clinch exchanges. So congrats to Ramona Pascual. She improves to 3-2. Seo-Woo Jin starts her career at 0-1. Congrats to Ramona Pascual. Let me know how you guys thought of the fight in the comments below.